Whew, it is hot today, guys. My goodness, out here sucking. All right. Whew. All right, guys. So a lot of you studs and studesses out there seem to be really interested in why SERE School is so secretive. And I'll tell you, there's two big reasons why SERE School is so secretive, and this is coming from a guy who will neither confirm or deny whether or not he has attended SERE School. Okay, so let that be known. I'm just gonna say some stuff. First of all, anybody who has been to SERE School, and I'm talking SERE at Fort Bragg, has signed a non-disclosure agreement, and that is a legally binding piece of paper that says that the student has an agreement with the schoolhouse saying that they will not disclose anything that happens in the school. Again, that's legally binding. I don't have any stories on somebody like spilling the beans about SERE School and what happened to them. You know, I don't know how serious that is or not, but I do know there is a legal aspect to talking about what goes down in SERE School. So that's a pretty big reason why those who have been don't like to talk about what happens in SERE School. The second and probably more important reason is because if the people that have attended SERE training told you what happened at SERE training, then you would miss out on the benefit and the impact that you would have otherwise received going through the training yourself. In other words, if you had the intel of the school, it wouldn't have as much training value for you as you went through it. Now, SERE School, as it stands today, has been around since the Vietnam era. I don't remember exactly which year it was stood up, but it was stood up by a Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel named Nick Rowe, who spent about 5 years in captivity in Vietnam as a POW. I can't even imagine how that was. And one day was able to escape in an epic way. And upon his return to the United States, felt compelled to develop a training curriculum that would prepare special forces, other special operations, and just other, specialized soldiers for what it would be like if they found themselves in a survival, evasion, recovery, or POW type of situation. And since that school was set up, from my understanding, it hasn't changed really at all. The curriculum stands the same, the training is pretty much the same, and it's still some of the best training that you're ever going to be able to get in the military. So going back to why SERE School is such a secret, I don't think it's because of the non-disclosure agreement and for the legal reasons necessarily. I would say it is more for the reason that it's important, and those who have been through the school would agree with this. I think it's important to uphold that legacy and to allow for those who have yet to receive the training to be able to experience the training the way it's meant to be experienced, so that they can get the most out of it, because the more they get out of it, the better they're going to be prepared for a worst case scenario situation. So a big piece of advice that I'd like to offer to any of you who might be interested in SERE School, or maybe you have a date for SERE School or something like that, I would stop digging into what SERE School is. I would stop trying to gather intel, and I would stop asking those who have been to SERE School what they experienced and if they can give you any information, because really, man, it's better to just go to the school knowing that you're going to be receiving some first class, some of the most awesome training you will ever get in your life, and you're going to come out of that school a better soldier, a more prepared soldier, and really a better person overall. I'll also offer that a lot of the rumors that you might hear about SERE School, you know, I just want you to use some common sense when getting that sort of information. You know, for example, like maybe, you know, you hear that the instructors they're allowed to break like one bone while you're there or something like that. Just, I'm not going to confirm or deny any information, but I will say just use common sense and know that the Army is putting the students who go through this training to make them better soldiers, better assets, give them the appropriate training so that they can actually become operational and be prepared for those sorts of specific scenarios, not to break them, not to run them through some sort of gate that's going to decide their future in special forces or in the Army. You know, it's just really good training. It's, you know, it might even be, it's some of the best training, you know, out there. And I would highly encourage you, if you get the opportunity to go. While SERE School is part of the Special Forces pipeline, and you can see that it's all over the internet, that's open source information. It's not specifically only for Special Forces soldiers. It's for a plethora of soldiers and service members out there that might be put into a situation where they are vulnerable to capture, or might be deployed to an area where it's a good chance that they find themselves needing to survive. But overall, it's open to the majority of armed forces out there. And you can find that on open source as well. And if you are a soldier who doesn't have the desire to earn a Green Beret, that does not mean that you cannot go to SERE training. It just means you might need to work a little harder to get there. And again, if that's something you want to do, I think it would be in your best interest to pursue it. And I think you would become a better asset for the Army after going through that training, regardless of what unit you come from. So that's my spiel on SERE School. I would encourage you not to put anything in the comments or ask any questions that might be considered against OPSEC and concerns to the school, or might be deemed as too secretive. Again, this video is really just to kind of clarify why SERE School has found itself to be such a secretive school in nature. Why guys and gals who have been don't like to talk too much about it, and why I think you should absolutely try to go to the training if you get the opportunity to. And one last thing, I'd encourage you not to dig too much more into what SERE School is on the internet, because a lot of it out there is either not going to be true, and it's just going to psych you out and give you false information, or it may be correct, but it's just going to ruin the training that you would have otherwise received once you were there yourself. And once you go through the training, uphold that legacy, and, you know, just, it's good to motivate people to go. I think I don't see a problem with that. You know, the school itself is open source. It's out there that there is a SERE School, but that doesn't mean you need to talk all about it and say what happens there. You know, just hold up the legacy. Remember how important the training was to you and how important it continues to be, and let others go there and experience it themselves so that they can get the maximum value from the training. All right, guys, so that's enough on SERE School. I just wanted to put that out there for you. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. We talk about all things Army. We talk about fitness, career enhancement, a whole bunch of tips and tricks to help you become a better soldier and a better person as a whole. So check out these other videos as well. And besides that, I have nothing else for you. I'll see you on the next one.